is freezing. Blinded by the cold wind, you follow your instinct and walk along with those around you. Flakes of snow fall into your collar, making the cold seem as if your skin being needled with tiny broken needles. In the wind, you hear someone push the heavy wooden door open. Finally, everyone, get inside. There was only light snow when we headed up the mountain. I didn't think it would turn into a full-blown blizzard. The mountain roads were torturous, and the snow turned it into a nightmare. What was the Zhang family thinking? Shara, are you okay? I'm fine. The chilly winds push you inside. You blink a few times trying to make out what lies ahead. This is the Blizzard Villa. With the misty snow behind and in front of you, a mountain villa without the classical elegance you'd imagine it to house. It's so dark. Is there no one here? A classical and elegant main hall lies behind the thick wooden door. Carved fence pans, hanging red lanterns, and the exquisite tables and chairs all convey a solemn atmosphere. But the hall is empty, save for the whistling of the wind and the creaking of the moving lanterns. Everything sleeps quietly in the darkness. Are you sure this is our destination? Yuchen town is not big, and there's only one villa. This must be it. The living room is exquisitely furnished and most likely carefully maintained every day. It's clear that someone used to live here, but no. Luke bends down on one knee to carefully observe the surroundings. It's a little strange. We were invited to the treasure auction. Since it's an auction, we shouldn't be the only ones in attendance. So why haven't we seen anyone else yet? Maybe something's happened. The blizzard is heavy. It will be difficult to make the journey back down the mountain. For a moment, everyone falls silent. It is late in the afternoon and the snowstorm comes in full force. It grows increasingly darker and colder outside as night approaches. Under these circumstances, it looks like it's not worth going down the mountain now. Why don't we check out the backyard? We'll have to find a place to rest if the snow doesn't stop. Shh, quiet. Luke's whisper interrupts you. You bite your lip and look to him in confusion. I think there's someone here. All eyes turn to the gray shadow in the room. Someone's coming. As soon as he says that, you hear several faint footsteps coming closer. In the darkness, a vague outline of someone gradually appears. Someone's pressed down on something that makes a mechanical sound, and in the next moment, the world lights up. Villa Hall. The entire hall is flooded with light. The warm yellow light drives away the prior darkness. The interior is decorated with refined simplicity, making people feel like they've been transported back hundreds of years ago. Distinguished guests, we're sorry for the undesirable hospitality. A middle-aged man dressed in a traditional outfit welcomes all of you with a smile. You are... Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Winters and I am a butler of Blizzard Villa. Distinguished guests, are you here for the auction? The storm is taking a turn for the worse. Please, come in, take your conversation inside. Everyone's response to his warm greeting is relatively calm. Excuse me, what was that about? The whole hall was dark. The Zheng family really does have a special way of welcoming their guests. I'm terribly sorry for that. A wire came loose somewhere, causing a power outage in the main hall. Seems like the timing of our arrival was too coincidental. Winters continues to smile despite the veiled sarcasm in Vince's voice. We are short on staff. Counting me, there are only 4 household staff. The staff were making preparations in the kitchen while the other guests were dining in the dining hall. That's why there was a delay in repairing the hall switch. And our master is too busy sorting things out for the auction. I am very sorry for the inconvenience. As he speaks, the guests that have finished eating come out of the dining hall. Many of them peer towards the entrance, checking out the people who've just arrived. As more people enter, the noisy chatters bring life to the once cold living room. It also confirms what Winters just said. The storm outside is getting worse. How was your trip here? Winters can expertly segue into another topic after a humble explanation and apology like an experienced butler. Thank you for asking. The whole trip went smoothly. The snowstorm suddenly hit us while we were halfway up the mountain. Jinton has always been like this, snowstorms every winter. The snow is exceptionally heavy this year. I don't know when it will stop. The butler smiles and looks warmly at all of you. But for some reason you feel a little uneasy. Huh? Am I just overthinking it? Oh crap, if the snow gets any thicker, it will be hard to get down the mountain in a few days. Distinguished guests, please don't worry. No matter how heavy the snow is, it will eventually stop. Besides, our villa offers all the finest facilities, so please rest assured and enjoy your stay. And would all of you kindly please show me your invitations? Here. Maris takes out a gold-stamped card covered in red velvet and hands it to the butler. Looking at the invitation, you can't help but remember what happened that day. Antoine's headquarters meeting room. 2 weeks ago, Luke called out to Maris after a routine meeting at Antoine's. Hey, were you able to get an invitation to Mavis Zhang's treasure auction? Yes, I just received the invitation yesterday. Maris looks at Luke with a slight scrutiny. Luke, why the sudden interest in stuff like this? I want to take a look at the venue. I heard the Zheng family has been dealing in antiques for generations and that they live in seclusion and secrecy. It's worrisome that they would suddenly have such a grand auction in a mountain villa in the middle of nowhere. You're afraid they're engaging in shady dealings under the guise of an auction? Alright, I'll give you an invitation. Thanks. They talk more with each other but only vaguely bring up the topic. It piques your curiosity. What auction? They said that there will be an antique treasure auction in 2 weeks at the Blizzard Villa in Yuchen Town. As a large local family, the Zheng family started in the antique business and accumulated a fortune over the decades. Vin and Artem, who are sitting on their side, joined the discussion. The former head of the family was Nolan Zheng. He did business by himself outside in his early years. Then one day he took his wife and daughter for an outing on a whim, and that's when the accident happened. What happened? They got into a car accident. Unfortunately, his wife and child died in the accident, and he was the only ones who survived. Nolan Zeng's personality changed drastically afterward. He withdrew from society and moved his family to a remote old manor deep in the mountains. And afterward, I heard he adopted a child from an orphanage to be his successor. In the decades that followed, he was rarely seen in public, choosing instead to identify antiques in his home. It was his adopted son, Mavis Zeng, who ran the family business all these years. The accident must have been traumatic for Mr. Nolan Zeng. But why is he willing to hold a public auction again? A few months ago, Mr. Nolan Zeng passed away from illness, and Mavis Zeng has taken over the family business. Some see the auction as a way to highlight the Zeng family's wealth as well as its transition of power. I think that Mavis Zeng is a pretty clever one. Sometimes the Zeng family's low-key style will not be very fitting in the long run. Increasing the family's popularity to a certain degree will be helpful for the family's future development. Yes, I agree. It's rare for the two of them to agree on anything. You want to say something to them, but then you notice a profound smile on Maria's face. Vin, Artem, why are the two of you so interested in the Zeng family? Could it be that you want me to get you 2 invitations too? That is not necessary. I am one of the invitees. Vin takes out his invitation with gold lettering and places it in front of Marius. Marius purses his lips as if to say something, but holds back. Then he turns to Artem. I am also an invitee. No way! Eh? You and Marius exclaim at the same time. Artem cleared his throat to ease the delicate atmosphere. Mavis Zeng personally can't contact the firm. He wanted legal aid for the auction, so he sent invitations to us. With that, Artem takes out 2 velvet invitations from his bag and hands one of them to you. When you open the invitation, there is a beautiful old script on the nude inside with your name neatly written at the top. Wow. In other words, if I didn't ask Marius for an invitation, I'd be the only one who wasn't invited. Sorry to have to take a jab at your confidence, but it does seem that way. At least we can all work together again. You quickly see something to ease the atmosphere. Besides, we don't need to investigate some strange case this time. Think of it as a relaxing trip. Yes, it's just simple legal aid. It won't be too complicated. We should have plenty of free time then. I can show you around town if you're interested. I know a great ski resort near Yuchen Town. We can go there together if you are interested. That makes this trip feel more like a vacation. But winters in Yuchen Town are accompanied by snow and freezing temperatures. Remember to pack plenty of warm clothes and be prepared for the cold. Okay. And just like that, the Antoine's team quickly agrees on a plan and boards the private plane to Yuchen Town. Strictly speaking, everything goes smoothly, except from the snowstorm on the way up the mountain. Distinguished guests, please come with me. By the time you come to your senses, the butler has already verified all the invitations. All of you follow the butler into the side hall to rest. Villa Side Hall. The side hall is decorated in an antique style, much like the main hall. On one side is a set of elegant wood-carved tables and chairs, and on the other side is a fine brushwork painting with great complexity. You feel like you've traveled to another era as the guest of a wealthy household in ancient times. What an exquisite room! Between admiring the extravagant decoration, you notice Mary's frowning as he stares at something. What are you looking at? Nothing, I just like the painting on the wall. Following his gaze, you see a freehand ink painting hanging on the wall. The ink scattered and trailed freely in the piece. Even someone without an understanding of art can appreciate its greatness. It's a great ink painting. Unfortunately, there are too many guests in the room, which spoils the mood of appreciating art. How about we come back later to enjoy it when there are fewer people? The guests around us. The room is full of guests sitting in small groups of their own, deep in conversation. It doesn't feel crowded though. From what you know of him, he must be trying to hide something, which is why he changed the subject. Yes, there's no rush. The villa is home to my master's precious collection. Distinguished guests, please feel free to view them at your leisure. Before you can ask anything else, the butler picks the conversation up from where Mary's left off. Distinguished guests, please get some rest as we prepare dinner for you. Seeing the butler's enthusiasm, it doesn't feel right for you to bring up the topic from earlier. Some things probably shouldn't be said out loud, but I should talk to him later when I have the chance. Okay, thank you. Winters nods and turns to lead you to the resting area further inside. This is when. Help! Someone! Anyone! The maniac is spewing nonsense again. There is a commotion outside the living room. Someone is shouting frantically as if trying to stop something as soon as possible. What happened? Let's take a look. You all exchange looks and immediately rush out the door. Villa Garden. Someone is standing in the snow and muttering about something in the courtyard. You people are too ignorant to know how dangerous the world is. Just a friendly reminder, there are many dark secrets hidden in this corrupted mountain villa. Of course, it is up to you to decide whether or not to listen to me. What can an NPC like me change? I cannot do anything. A familiar voice and silhouette, even the way he speaks makes it clear who it is. Hey, isn't he? He looks familiar. Isn't he the same person we saved on Nostal? Yes, it's him. We seem to share a strange kind of fate with him. Zanger Stewart? Have we met before? It's amazing that anyone would remember the name of such an unnoticeable NPC. Unnoticeable, are you sure? Distinguished guest, do you know this man? What's he talking about? Before you can ask Zanger Stewart what he's doing here, a young woman dressed like a maid starts complaining. He came wandering around the villa a few days ago. Now he's back with his nonsense again. I can't stand it. What did he say? What else is the same nonsense he was just blabbering about? It's not nonsense. The spirit in the snow mountain have given me visions. I haven't seen him in a while, but he seems to be just as delusional as before. Delusional? No, you don't understand. I'm not delusional. It's just my experience of being an NPC. How can protagonists who have plot armor understand my feelings? He seems to be responding to Marius, but it also feels like he is completely immersed in his own world. I really don't understand what you're saying. Suddenly, he looks up at you with a piercing gaze, as if he had just discovered some magical new land. Yes, I'm honestly so stupid. How can you guys believe me if you haven't seen it? Come, all of you, to the villa behind the snow mountain. I will show you the secrets hidden in the depths of the mountain villa. With that, he speeds down the steps and runs back up the hill from another turn off. What's going on with him? Should we go after him? His behavior is indeed strange, but there really are founded worries about what he said. Shirara, do you want to go after him? Or we can confirm the situation with the people back in the villa first. Yeah. A strange feeling overtakes you. What was supposed to be a pleasant trip has suddenly come to an abrupt end, replaced by one with unknown riddles and confusion. But no matter what, you must face the things you must face. After pondering for a moment, you make your decision. Hi Miss, we're getting close to Blizzard Villa. Even Davis can feel the chill of the snow mountain. What's the next story? Let's go see it together. Villa Hall. The living room is completely illuminated this time, devoid of the gloomy atmosphere when you first got here. You want to find the butler and ask him about the villa behind the mountains that Zangar mentioned, except as you approach the lounge, you hear a man and a woman arguing. Chantal, how do you expect me to understand when you've pushed things to the extreme? Does the supposed understanding you speak of mean that our company should concede to yours? I didn't say that. I am asking your company to perform its duties according to the previous agreement. A deal is a deal. It's irrelevant to your behavior. Elijah, if you have any issues, go and tell Mrs. Zheng yourself. What's the use in talking to me about it? Oh, there seems to be some drama going on there. Marius. With more people come more conflict. I just did not expect it would come so fast. They mentioned Mavis Zheng. The argument seems to have something to do with the Zheng family. How about we check it out? Your suggestion is accepted by everyone. You put the matter with Zangar aside for the moment and walk toward the gathering crowd. The argument intensifies as you approach the crowd. The middle-aged man named Elijah Yin was going back and forth with a well-dressed middle-aged woman named Shantopan. Presumably, the well-dressed woman is Shantopan, the one Elijah Yin is talking about. Didn't we agree to split the business evenly between us? And now you went to see Mrs. Zheng without me? What's the meaning of this? Chantal, are you trying to take all of my business? How ridiculous. I went to see Mrs. Zheng to bond. What's the issue? I just went to his study to greet him. I didn't see him directly. Why are you so worried? You've got such a small heart despite your large gut. I don't even know what's inside that head of yours. Distinguished guests, please keep your cool. At the villa, you are all distinguished guests of our master. Please don't ruin the harmony between the two of you. The butler quickly steps forward, trying to make peace. Butler Winters, you've come just in time. Tell Mr. Zheng to come out and speak regarding this matter. Why is this woman always picking a fight with me? No reason, I just don't like the fact that you're wearing a leopard print shirt in the middle of winter. It disgusts me. Some people are still lowly and despicable despite the luxuries they wear. I have no idea what they're arguing about anymore. Both of them are unable to reach a compromise. Butler Winters look at them troubled. As the argument escalates, there are a few troublemakers among the spectators. Butler, where is Mr. Zhang? Why aren't you calling for your master to intervene? Or can he not be bothered to come out? Our master is personally taking stock of the collection to be displayed at the auction. Organizing the collection is a delicate task, so the master has ordered us not to disturb him. Hence, that's not true. Chantal just said that she went to see Mr. Zheng. I demand an explanation. Well, the butler freezes for a moment as if he didn't know how to answer a La Giant. Looks like La Giant is quite good at digging holes for others. Huh? What he meant by that was that Mrs. Pan has a shady relationship with Mr. Mavis Zhang. Maris can't help whispering and commenting on the matter. If the butler admits it, then this will be big news. If he denies it, then the statement that Mavis Zhang doesn't want to be disturbed while organizing the collection is invalid. I am also curious as to how the butler will respond. This too was with the anticipation in their tone. That's enough. Please take the advice of an old man. An old man's voice cuts through the crowd. The crowd looks toward the source of the sun and naturally parts to make a path. Who is that? Luke whispers in your ear to explain. According to my research, that person is Mr. G, a famous businessman in Yushantown. Many people who came to do business in Yushantown are in contact with him. The roles of the Zheng family have always been like this. They maintain a sense of mystery and don't like to meet people. Nolan Zheng and I can be considered close friends, but we communicate mostly by letter. You two shouldn't make things hard for staff of the Zheng family. Relax, what's the big deal anyway? Won't you be able to see him at the auction in a few days? Perhaps the sense of authority in the old man's slow speech calms everyone down for a moment. Under his mediation, Elijah Yin and Chantal Pan restrains themselves and leaves in separate directions after rolling their eyes at one another. The reason for the argument was about business with the Zheng family, right? You're still thinking about what happened? Yeah, I feel that maybe Zheng is a mysterious person. And Mr. G said that Zheng family likes their secrecy and doesn't like to meet people. That means not many of these guests have actually met Mavis Zhang, right? Yes, the Zheng family has remained a mystery to the public all these years. That's why this auction, in which Mavis Zhang invited celebrities, has garnered so much attention. It is clear the two guests in the altercation are in business with the Zhang family. And Mr. J, who came out to stop the argument, has some relations with the Zhang family. It seems like everyone here wants to get close to the Zhang family. The atmosphere feels a little strange. I feel the same way. Thinking back to what Zanger said, it makes me feel like there's some kind of hidden secret here. Maybe we can talk to the people around us to understand more about the villa? What do you think? Okay, let's go say hello to the other guests. This is a potted holly. It's gorgeous. The red fruits are beautiful. The shape of this potted holly is special. It's kind of like what? No, nothing. I was just thinking a lot, miss. Don't worry about it. Hmm. Strange. His expression was so serious that it didn't sound like it was nothing. But this potted holly looks quite ordinary. What's so special about it? Mr. Kian, where is Mr. Yin? There are a remittance order that requires his confirmation, but I haven't been able to find him. Mr. Yin is still angry at the moment. I imagine he has gone to take a bath to cool off. Just wait a little longer. He's taking a bath to cool off. The boss likes to take bath. Hehe, didn't know about that, did you? Mr. Yin likes to take bath whenever he has free time. He says that his worries all disappear after a nice bath. Manager, forgive me for asking, but what is the boss relationship with that woman? It seems to be a delicate relationship, seeing how they argue as soon as they meet. We are a logistic company, as is Chantal Pan's company, which makes us competitors. Logistic company, are they competing over orders to ship the collection? It's possible, but artifact trading probably shouldn't have the need to employ a long-term logistics company. Yeah. Mason, you shouldn't be asking these questions. Okay, I got it. By the way, I just went to the wing in the backyard. The bath facilities in the villa are big and spacious. Taking a long bath before going to bed is definitely a luxury for the rich. Well, I will have to enjoy it myself later. Their conversation ended so abruptly. It seems like Mr. Kian doesn't want to explain too much to his subordinates. My friends, I see that you have been hanging around here for a long time. What do you see? Do you want to hear about the gossips of the villa? You can ask me about anything you want to know. I am always the first to get the latest news. You are... Ah, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Tony. I am a reporter. Here's my business card. Do you know what the two people were arguing about in the living room? Of course I do. They were arguing because Chantal Pan's company stole Elijah Yin's company's business. Care to elaborate? Chantal Pan's logistics company was founded just last year. Her company was ruthless, seizing many big clients from Elijah Yin's company. Of course, Elijah Yin was furious that it happened. That's why they argue upon meeting each other. I heard they knew each other when they were younger. I don't know what happened for Chantal Pan to have it out for Elijah Yin. So their argument might have been personal. I'm not too sure about that. We reporters only need to differentiate facts from fictions. We know what we know and don't know what we don't. I didn't expect him to have such strong principles. Wow, Mr. G is awesome. Everyone immediately falls silent when he speaks. Of course, Mr. G is the most respected man in all of Yuchen Town. Yes, someone was causing trouble in the village next to mine a few days ago. It was Mr. G who handled it. Mr. G is like the guardian of angel of our town. Yes, my father told me Mr. G's word hold more weight than the mayor's. He also reminded me to learn as much as possible from Mr. G on this trip. It sounds like the old man is quite respectable. More than respectable, I'm sure. Sounds like he's in a position of power. Yeah, the room seemed to quiet down as soon as he spoke. The respected old man is also close with the Zhang family. He broke up the fight much like an ill elder of the Zhang family would. Perhaps he is one of those kind elders who subconsciously regard others as his juniors. I hope so. Huh? Mary's attitude seems strange. Did I say something wrong? What right does that Elijah guy have to be fighting with me? Mavis Zheng is in charge now. What worked with Nolan Zheng is no longer applicable. Elijah still wants to use the old ways to cooperate with the Zheng family. He's out of his mind. Old ways cooperate? That he is. Miss Pan is much more capable than someone like him. If it hadn't been for Miss Pan taking the lead in doing the Zheng family's business, our company would have broke enough. Chantal Pan's tone suddenly turned so stern. My apologies, Miss Pan. I will watch my words next time. Why are you standing there with those people beside you, miss? Eavesdropping, perhaps? No, we were... Hello, Miss Pan. We just arrived at the villa and we're just familiarizing ourselves with the area. We are very sorry to have disturbed you. Oh, someone with your looks can't be a bad guy. Never mind, the villa is enormous, so take your time to look around. I still have things to say to my staff. You should give us some space. Unfortunately, I didn't react in time. Good thing Dr. Richter came to the rescue. You are Professor Frederick Yang, right? I'm very pleased to meet you. Hello, you are? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sam Zhang, a businessman specializing in antique. Oh, and this is my younger sister, Ashley Zhang. Ashley, say hello to Professor Yang. Hello, Professor Yang. We both love your book, Antiques Appreciation and Cultural Folklore. We were able to learn a lot from your book on antiques and how to appreciate them. Haha, you flatter me. I wonder if you have anything new in the works. Something new? Well, actually... They are deep in conversation. I can't chime in at all. Forget it. I'll talk to them later. After walking around the villa, you get a better understanding of the auction guests. Among them are entrepreneurs, industry tycoons, town residents, and tabloid reporters. There are even doctors, scholars, and others who seem to have nothing to do with the collection. It's safe to say that the diversity of guests is much more complex than you thought. I thought only a few entrepreneurs would be interested in the collection, but there are so many people here. It looks like the treasure auction will be as lively as the butler promised. Suddenly, a muffled sound comes from the dining hall. It seems to be the sound of something heavy hitting the ground. And then, "Help! Someone quick!" A scream alarms everyone at the villa. Looks like something's happened. Let's go take a look. Okay. Villa dining room. The classical hall's original elegance and quiet atmosphere are now replaced with unsettled murmurs. The guests in the crowd look and whisper at one another, mostly with frightened eyes. Ah. Squeezing into the crowd, you see the source of the disturbance. Elijah Yin is lying on the ground with his eyes closed. Standing not far from him is Chantal Pan, so frightened that her face is almost distorted. Boss, what happened? Boss! Chantal Pan, what did you do to our boss? Mr. Kian, Elijah Yin's right-hand man, is squatting on the ground. He has a look of terror on his face as he shakes his boss's body. However, Elijah Yin shows no response. Nonsense, I didn't do anything. Elijah Yin suddenly fell over. I watched him as he fell. I didn't touch him. It must have been you. You must have provoked our boss. Our boss has a weak heart. His body must have been acted upon after your argument with him. I'm telling you, if anything happens to our boss, you will never hear the end of it from our entire company. That is defamation. I will hire an attorney to sue you. Everyone, please calm down. Artem steps forward to stop the pointless shouting match. I am an attorney. If you need to say something, you can tell me all about it later. The most important thing now is to confirm Mr. Yin's condition. Artem exchanged a look with Vin, who bends down to help Elijah Yin up. However, he stops as soon as he touches him. What's wrong, Dr. Richter? Vin doesn't respond. He cautiously puts his hand on Elijah Yin's neck, feeling for a pulse. Vin opens Elijah Yin's eye and inspects them. Then he shakes his head lightly. Elijah Yin is dead. What? Huh? He was still in a hard-heated argument not long ago. Maris turned his eyes toward Chantal Pan, who is standing by the side. She had been arguing with Elijah Yin, and now he lies lifeless on the ground. What are you looking at me for? Are you suspicious of me as well? Before you can speak, Chantal Pan starts shrieking nervously. It is clear she is upset by Elijah Yin's sudden death, which has made her emotions spiral out of control. Miss Pan, please calm down. You try to calm her down so that she can tell you what happened, but Shantapan, you're not getting away with this. On the other side, Mr. Kian, who had also lost control of himself, charges over. Luke immediately puts up his hand to stop him. Everyone, please calm down. Mr. Kian, it is imperative that we call the police right away. Then let them confront Mr. Yin's cause of death. Luke quickly calls the police on his phone. However, after an awkward busy sign, the phone call is automatically cut off. There's no reception here. You turn on your phone and notice that you also have no reception. As a cell phone addict, you suddenly have no idea what to do. Excuse me, could you call the police on the landline? Artem finds Butler Winters in the crowd and makes the request. Well, is something the matter? My apologies, we don't have a landline at the villa. Our master wanted to retain the old-fashioned style of the villa, so we didn't install a landline. Reception is not great in the mountains. Why don't you see if it's better at the entrance? Butler Winters, please help calm others down. We will try to see if we can get a signal at the entrance. Okay. Snowy Mountain Trail. You go outside and find Zanger Stewart standing outside the villa. The flying snow in the howling wind coats Zanger Stewart in a layer of silver. Looking in the direction of his gaze, you vaguely see a tall and secluded manor shrouded in an eerie and ghastly aura. What is this place? I knew it. The protagonists are always guided by their curiosity. As an NPC, I shall reveal the secret of this villa to you. He smiles and points at the structure not far away. There are many questionable points in what he said, but maybe we should play along and ask him about it. Well, Zanger, what is the secret hidden in the villa? This villa is corrupted by darkness and has a secret hidden in the deepest depth. Many strange objects have been kept in the villa like treasures. What's stranger is that some people in the villa have been trying to find them, but no one has yet to succeed. But since you are the protagonist, I believe that you can find these strange objects. People in the villa? Yes, the greedy accomplices of darkness are still lurking in the villa searching for them. Hehe, maybe you already met them. Interestingly, there are counterfeits among the strange objects, and only the genuine one is valuable. Even as the protagonist, you can only bring one of them. I wonder if you can find the genuine one. Zanger's words give you the shivers. Also, the spirits told me that if you want to find the deepest secret hidden within, you will encounter many obstacles of darkness. Why would the darkness set these obstacles? Hearing your question, he looks at you with a sharp, burning gaze. Those secrets obviously cannot see the light of day. Whatever dark corruption hidden behind the villa is unimaginable to the protagonist with bright futures. I want to reveal this secret too, but I can't do anything as an NPC. Zanger's strange words invoke your sense of curiosity, and you look at the villa again. The answer you are looking for might be hidden there. Shiraira, have you decided to believe him and investigate the villa? Yes, I want to take a look inside. It feels like there's a story hidden in there. Okay, we will go with you. Yes, many hands make light work, and we can also take care of each other. Are you sure you want to enter? Is this the innate confidence and courage of the protagonist? I see what the spirits mean now. The darkness will observe your every move after you enter. There will be traps to hinder you from finding out the truth. First, you will encounter many questions. You must find the answers to these questions to escape that trap. Then you will be shrouded in darkness. It will try to swallow you with fear. Remember, don't lose sight of the light. Only the light can lead you out. Otherwise, the darkness will catch you and you will lose the chance to find the truth. Will we encounter other obstacles of darkness after we find a way out? His train of thought is all over the place. I have not even figured out what the questions are. Unbeatable shadows and horrible obstacles are common in adventures, but avoiding being seen by the shadows, never look into their eyes. I am telling the truth. The spirits told me everything. You must all do as I say. Zanger's steward becomes more agitated. He grabs some snow from beside him and holds it tightly. Calm down, we will leave what you see. Avoid being seen and never look into their eyes. Does he mean there will be surveillance patrols in the villa? So we should be careful or we might be discovered. That makes sense, and these peoples may be well trained too. Well, it seems we are going to have an adventure before we can gather the final clue. Ask him if there is anything we should look out for. Can we find the hidden truth after overcoming the obstacle you mentioned? Hearing your question, Zanger's steward shakes his head and a bizarre light shines in his eyes. You would be wrong to think so. The tricks of darkness do not stop there. Before that comes the biggest test. The biggest test? What's that? It is, I cannot tell. It can be anything and everything. Yes, it can be anything and everything. Zanger's steward smiled as if he had just recalled something, but his words confused everyone. Is this even a test? Hearing you mutter, he seemed somewhat discontented. This is certainly a test. All the traps I mentioned might show up in the final obstacle. So that's what Zanger meant just now. A mix of all mechanism. It looks like the designer is trying really hard to cover something. Zanger's steward sighed faintly after looking at all of you. You may be the protagonist with Lady Luck smiling down at you, but this villa will offer an unexpected experience. You want to ask more about the mechanism, but Zanger just crouches and stares at this door in front of him. Leave me alone. I have told you everything I can. As an NPC, I can only exchange information with you now. If you find something like a silk pouch in the villa, you can come to me to exchange it for something. Exchange? He ignores you and buries his head in his arms. Well, an NPC gets tired too. I only want to wait here quietly for the secret to be revealed. I still haven't figured out what he meant. And those strange but well-preserved objects. We can't get any more information from him. Well, according to Zanger, we can awake him only when we find something to exchange with him. If that's the case, then let's go find that something. Looking at the tall gate and ghostly light rising from the depths of the mountains, you feel nervous and excited. I hope we can successfully uncover the hidden secrets.
going on, Luke? It seems we are in separate rooms. Let's look for a way through. Yes, we're in two different rooms. So we are trapped here like this now? Don't worry, I'm here. We can certainly find a way out. Luke's words comfort you and remove a bit of uneasiness in you. Maybe you can look around for clues? Okay, I'll tell you if I find any. There seems to be something on that table. Let me see. Oh, what's this? Luke, did you find something? Well, there are some ornaments on this shelf. They are in the order of cooking, chess, book, and painting. They don't seem to be ordinary decorations. Do you think it's a clue for the way out of this room? When you put it that way, it does seem strange. People normally wouldn't put these things together. Right, let's search this room for this clue of cooking, chess, book, and painting. Okay. Shirara, there's a chessboard here. A chessboard? It must correspond to the chess in the clue. Yeah, let me have a look at the chess game on it. Strange. What's wrong? The chess game is normal, but there is a fluoride on each corner of the chessboard. Each fluoride looks different. They might be related to the fake and genuine item that Zanger was talking about. But we don't know any characteristics of the genuine item. Let's look around. Maybe we'll find some clues. Cooking, chess, book, and painting. Huh? There's a good thing here. You lightly pluck on the strings and hear an off-key sound. Looks like this hasn't been played in a long time. Besides the cooking, you notice the bamboo pipes arranged in order on both sides of the table. There are 12 bamboo pipes of varying sizes. What's this? At the mouth of one bamboo pipe, there is a trail of dust. You slightly wipe away the dust and see words carved in it. Lin Zhong. It sounds familiar. Is it the one mentioned in the Book of Rights Proceeding of Government in the different months? According to that book, this number should be... Right, this must be the one. The ornament matches the potted plants here quite well. Wait, what's this? You find a note under the potted plant that reads, "The true treasure is the fluoride that glitters and is as hard as a fire. It is flawless, with a round top and square piece." We already know the characteristics of the genuine item, so the 2 fluoride is... All of them look similar. Which one should I choose? There seems to be a line on this fluoride. Is this the one? It has a nice looking color. Could this be it? Its color is everlasting and unchanging and is flawless. The fluoride is round and its base is a square, in line with the ancient description of circinal sky and square ground. This must be genuine. According to Zenga, the true fluoride must serve some function. Perhaps it is useful in solving the case? Makes sense. Let's take it with us and hand it in as evidence when we get in touch with the police. Oh, right, I found a number 5 on the chessboard square near the genuine fluoride. The number is slightly carved on the board. Looks like the designer wanted us to discover this number through the fluoride. Good thing we didn't miss it. The number 5. I'll write it down. There might be a clue about the book. Let me see. When searching the bookshelves, you find a strange book. I can't open this book. Oh, there is a mechanical lock. Alright, it's done. The book opens slowly. But what's peculiar is that there is nothing but a number on the page. 1. A number. Can the password be the combination of the numbers we find? No matter what the password is, I should still write this number down. I found it. The ancient painting is over here. Great, inspect it carefully. There must be something in the painting. It looks like you're wrong this time. I don't see any clues in the painting. Huh? It has nothing to do with the ancient painting but with the wall behind it. There is a mechanism on the wall that looks like a jet plate. There are also strange texture painted on it. Strange texture? Yeah, they look to be fragmented. Wait, these strokes, they seem to connect. A mechanism like this is a piece of cake for me. Well, I've got another number after solving the jet plate puzzle. It's 5. Great, we got another clue. The password of the coded lock on the door is 4-digit combination. It must correspond to the 4 numbers we found, right? But we still can't open the door without knowing the right combination. Do we have to try all the possible combinations? Well, not really. I found some hidden patterns on the door. Hidden patterns? Yes, they are patterns of the book, painting, guillotine, and chess. It might correlate to the correct order of numbers. Then let's try arranging the numbers we found near those clues in that order. With the dull sound of chains, the door opens slowly, and you are greeted by another unknown room. Hello. What do you want? Ask about the luminous pearl. Miss Chow, is this the pearl you've been searching for? The moment you take out the pearl, Miss Chow's eyes light up. Where did you find it? That's the luminous pearl that I've been searching for so long. Why were you looking for it? In my eyes, it is just ordinary fluorite. Ordinary. Cassie Chow's joyful look dims, and she mumbles for a long time before she speaks again, albeit reluctantly. That's not a fluorite. It's the legendary luminous pearl. Luminous pearl? You mean this is the gem that can glow in the dark? Yes, luminous pearls are hard to come by, and this one has an extraordinary history. The pearl in your hands is said to have been formed by the first tear shed by Lady Chingnu. Chingnu, you mean the goddess of snow in the Yuchen town legends? Yes, when the goddess came to the world and saw the people suffering from a drought, she wept for them. The first tear that fell to the world became the luminous pearl. The waters turned into rain and saved the people from drought. You feel like your head is in the clouds after hearing her explain. Cassie Chow look at your puzzled expressions and continues talking. Moreover, this luminous pearl has a magical effect. A magical effect? It is said that this luminous pearl can protect people from all kinds of disease and prolong their life. A lot of rich people are scrambling to find it. Oh, I can't believe I found it. But we were the one who found it. Calm down and think. If the luminous pearl had such an effect, then why did Mr. Nolan Zong? Vin deliberately elongates the sentence so that Cassie Chow would figure out the problem. Well, after hearing what Vin said, a disappointed expression appears on her face. But it doesn't take long for that disappointment to turn into shame and anger. Oh, I know, you're trying to bluff so you can keep it for yourself. Eh? No, give it to me. I saw it, so it's mine. Even if you don't give it to me, at least let me touch it. Maybe some of it will rub off on me. Vin doesn't respond, but there is a hint of amusement in his eyes. Sorry, but I think it will be safer in our possession. What if you keep it for yourself? Miss Chow, rest assured. Once we make contact with the outside world, everything in the villa will be handed over to the police. All city folk are hypocrites. Forget it, I don't want to argue with you. Mr. Wing, have we been separated again? To be safe, I'm looking for secret tunnels or doors again. What is it? You're right, we're in separate rooms. Fortunately, we have experienced these times. Yes, and there must be some clues in the rooms for us to find a way out. Let's look around then. Okay, the 3 cabinets look suspicious over there. Let me check them out. On another cabinet door painted with a beautiful landscape is another formula. 2 and 4 are shoulders, 6 and 8 are feet, 5 is the core. Near this text, there is a 3x3 grid with a symbol in it. A 3x3 grid with Zun at the top left corner of it. It seems this grid can be associated with the formula we found just now. An 8 trigrams mirror, it must be more than just decoration. Mr. Wing, what's wrong? There is an 8 trigram mirror on this table. Shirara, do you find anything strange with it? Not yet, but... Having discussed the layout of the room with Artem, you find that the 2 rooms are in central symmetry. Central symmetry, 8 trigrams. There seems to be something drawn on the back of the mirror. What is on the back of the mirror? It's a mark with Li Palace written on the bottom. Besides the Li trigram, there are 7 other trigrams: Xian, Kun, Kan, Zhen, Zhen, Zun, and Dui. The trigrams are connected. That means these marks also correspond to the text. Does it mean that the puzzle in this room is also related to the 8 trigrams? It's getting more and more complicated. Don't worry, let's look for clues together. We can definitely find a way out. We know the puzzle is related to the 8 trigrams and the 9 palaces, so pay attention to such clues. No problem, I will. A beautiful landscape is painted on the archive cabinet door, but the text on the door is rather out of place. 9 is on the top, 1 at the bottom, 3 at left, and 7 at right. It looks like the arithmetic in ancient times. Wait, it is a formula used in mechanism design in ancient times, classified as the Taoist magic art of being invisible. The text here reads, Kun Palace represents 2. Why can't I move this screen? Shirara, what's wrong? There is a screen, I can't move it, but it doesn't seem stuck either. I think we need to unlock a mechanism. A mechanism? The room is designed according to the 8 trigrams, in which yin and yang birth each other. Maybe the mechanism is on my end. As expected. With a clear sound, you hear a gear turn inside the screen. Try again now. It works. Well, there is a 3x3 grid drawn on the back of the screen. In the rightmost grid of the second row, there is 3. I remember that formula saying 3 is at the left and 7 at the right. 5 is at the core. If Dui is at the right of the core, it should represent the number 7. That makes sense. I'll write it down first. Shirara, I found a coded lock. Here, it is similar to the one in the previous room. Then there should be some clues on the lock, just like the previous one. As expected, there are names of the 4 trigrams carved on the lock: Dui, Kun, Li, and Zun. Dui, Kun, Li, and Jun. We found the corresponding numbers of some trigrams. What about the rest? It seems we need to calculate the corresponding number of every trigram according to the formula we found. Calculate. Yes, it sounds complicated, but it's easy. The patterns here have nothing to do with the clues. Besides the patterns, there are some other things carved on the screen, but they don't seem to be the clues you're searching for. Moving the tray away, you find a 3x3 grid drawn on the table. A mark is carved in the grid, but the words near it are illegible. It looks like a mark of Qian Palace. It is in the bottom right corner of the 3x3 grid. Staring at the evergreen potted plant, you find a bamboo stick hidden in the pot. The words on the bamboo stick reading Kan represent 1, Kun 2, Zan 3, and Zun 4. It looks like the sentence is not finished. An old piece of paper on the table reads, "Add every 3 numbers that are on the same row or column, and you will always get 15. There is also a mark and a few tiny words on the paper. Gan Palace is 8. Gan represents 8. Does it mean that in the 3x3 grid, the sum of the numbers on the same row or column is always 15? What is under the jar? Is it a mechanism? We already succeeded, so why didn't anything happen? Here, your mechanism corresponds to the screen at my side. I see, that was completely by accident. Not exactly, it's because of your luck. Let me check what's behind the screen. There is a 3x3 grid, and in the leftmost grid of the second row, there is a zone. It seems to be another hexagram. Which number does it represent? There is a long umbrella on the platform. It is light green with patterns of creeping weed drawn on it. What a beautiful oil paper umbrella. It might have belonged to a girl from the ancient times. A paper umbrella. You describe the oil paper umbrella to Artem, and he just smiles gently. What are you smiling at, Mr. Wing? Do you know the wheat creeps with dewdrops in the field, and there is a beautiful girl with bright eyes? Artem's words sounds familiar. It feels as if he'd said the same words to you a long time ago. The platform is covered with dust, suggesting that nobody has cleaned it in a long time. At the center of the platform, there is a young fish pendant. Why would a young fish pendant be here? I found a coded lock here, which also needs a 4-digit combination. This lock should have the same structure as that of the one in the previous room. See if there is any similar clue on the lock like before. You look at the lock carefully and find that Qian, Kan, Gan, Zan are carved on it. Now that there are 4 trigrams, the next step should be finding out the corresponding numbers. If that's the case, should we draw a 3x3 grid and fill it with the trigrams and numbers? Yes, you're right. There is a platform here. You approach the platform and see a groove in the center. The groove looks like a half of a hexagram. Is it the yin fish pendant? Wanting to find more clues, you check the platform again. This time, you find some things in the corner. I found a coded lock here, which also needs a 4-digit combination. This lock should have the same structure as that of the one in the previous room. See if there is any similar clue on the lock like before. You look at the lock carefully and find that Qian, Kan, Gan, Zan are carved on it. Now that there are 4 trigrams, the next step should be finding out the corresponding numbers. If that's the case, should we draw a 3x3 grid and fill it with the trigrams and numbers? Yes, you're right. With the sound of gears turning, the metal gate opens slowly. You wonder what puzzles will be hidden behind this door. Shirara, I found a coded lock here, and it is similar to the one in the previous room. Then there should be some clues on the lock, just like the previous one. As expected, there are names of 4 trigrams carved on the lock: Dui, Kun, Li, and Jun. Dui, Kun, Li, and Jun. We found the corresponding numbers of some trigrams. What about the rest? It seems we need to calculate the corresponding number of every trigram according to the formula we found. Calculate? Yes, it sounds complicated, but it's easy. With the sound of the gear turning, the metal gate opens slowly. You wonder what puzzles will be hidden behind this door. It seems we've been separated again. Yeah, and I'm actually getting used to it by now. It seems the situation here is rather complex. But the most important thing now is to find a way out. Yeah, let's start looking for clues. Oh, it's a pillow over there. I'll check it out. This pillar looks a little strange. You approach the pillar and find a wave symbol on it. Wave, water. To figure out the meaning of the mark, you check the pillar carefully and find some text on the other side of it. Everything in this world births and contradicts one another. My mother gave birth to me and I give birth to my offspring. All the births in the sentence are marked red. There is also a drawing of dragon facing to the right at the end of the sentence. A dragon facing right. Does it mean clockwise? Could it mean the five elements originate from one another? You notice a scroll painting on the wall. Against distant hills and green trees, the person in the painting has an otherworldly elegance. This might be the work of a master back in the ancient times. You get closer to look at the painting carefully and can't help but being attracted. It makes you feel like the person in the painting is reaching out towards you. How could it be? Why are you looking at me like that? Well, think carefully about which element to choose. Nothing happens to the stone pillar after pressing the buttons. I chose the wrong element. That's alright, let's try another one. Well, think carefully about which element to choose. A faint sound indicates a mechanism turning inside the pillar. The other buttons darken one after another, then the pattern of the dragon on the pillar shows an earthly yellow. I'm right, it is the pillar representing Earth. The paintings on the cabinet door look like the views of the four seasons. There appears to be something hidden behind the exquisite screen which cannot be moved. The stone pillar located here should represent After a while, you hear a light sound and find other buttons darkening one after another. Then the pattern of the dragon on the pillar shows red. This stone pillar represents fire. You find an ancient book behind a jade ornament by accident. But many pages of the ancient book are torn, leaving only one page, barely legible. Wood birth fire, fire birth earth, earth birth metal, metal birth water, and water birth wood. It's a book that describes the relationship between the five elements. Why are there marks on these two cups? You try to inspect the cups closer but realize that they are fixed to the table. They can only be rotated. Bending down, you find different patterns corresponding to the five elements on the cup above. and the waves on the cup are facing straight toward the cup below. The cup below is filled with water. There is no pattern on the cup but only a downward arrow near the word birth. A downward arrow. According to the relationship of the five elements, does this mean the element that gives birth to water or was birthed from water? The cup above is locked in place after you let go, and you can hear faint music. You find an old note in the crack of the door. It reads, "The fire element presides over propriety, making you impatient but respectful. It tastes bitter and looks red." What is the reason for this pillar being here? The other three buttons darken one after another. A faint sound indicates a mechanism turning inside the pillar. Then the pattern of the dragon on the pillar shows a gold color. It looks like I'm right. It is the pillar representing metal. The so-called trumpy creates a system of punishment for justice, where the strong can trump the weak. What does it mean? You look at the tiny text on the cabinet door and continue to read. So the wood trumps earth, earth trumps water, water trumps fire, fire trumps metal, and metal trumps wood. It's describing the relationship between the five elements. What does this pillar represent? A faint sound indicates a mechanism turning inside the pillar. The other three buttons go dark one after another. Then the pattern of the dragon on the pillar shows a green color. I'm right, it is the pillar representing wood. You find a piece of paper hidden in the vase that someone had left behind. On the paper, there is a pattern of a circle with a 5-point star in it. An element is written at each point. You notice that there are 2 cups on the table. You try to inspect the cups closer but realize they are fixed to the table. They can only be rotated. There is some earth in the cup below. On the cup, there is an upward arrow near the word trump. An upward arrow, does it refer to the contradiction in the 5 elements? You look at the cup above and find that the patterns on it are different from that of the other one. There are patterns corresponding to the 5 elements, while the patterns of the earth is facing straight toward the cup below. Does it refer to the elements trumped by earth or the one trumping earth? You rotate the cup above and stop at the pattern of waves. You then hear the faint sound of music coming from somewhere. Turns out they had a special relationship. Have you found something, Mr. Wing? Yes, I found a photo of Chantal Pan and Elijah Yin, but they look rather intimate in this photo, unlike the tension we saw between them earlier. What's going on? Miss Pan never mentioned this before. Let's confirm it with Miss Pan after we get out of here. Yes, I agree. Shirara, I found a good chain here. A good chain? Just a moment, let me see. There is nothing special except for a silk pouch. Okay, let's go look elsewhere. The screen can be moved now. Shirara, I found a jade plate lock like the one we saw before. That's great. It's a mechanism we're familiar with. With a loud sound, it seems a secret door has opened up somewhere. Faint light comes from behind the door. I wonder what clues are we looking for this time. Let's look around. Alright, I'll check the table in the corner. Well, there is a musical instrument at the center of this room. Let me see what it is. What a beautiful gucci. Gucci. Hearing your description of the gucci, Artem seems to be deep in thought. What is it? According to your description, it might be commemorative cushion of the Peony Pavilion. A commemorative cushion of the Peony Pavilion? Yes, Peony Pavilion is a well-known play. I have also watched some film adaptations of it. I remember that they only made 100 cushions to be sold. Is there a winter sweet pattern carved on it? You check the gucci and really find a lifelike winter sweet flower on it. In the Peony Pavilion, the winter sweet is the representative flower of December. The creator probably chose the winter sweet flower as the pattern of the gucci for its noble tree. Sounds interesting. Winter sweet represents December. What about the other months? Yeah. February is apricot flower, March is peach blossom, June is lotus, and September is chrysanthemum. Shirara, do you know what represents April? Is it the rose? Exactly. I didn't expect the rose to represent the floral god of April. But what do these flowers have to do with the clue we need to find? Wait, months. What are these tags? They look complex. At first glance, you notice two medium-sized patterns on it. A crescent moon and a pile of dirt are drawn on the scroll, and near them there is a line of tiny text. This is... The text reads, Yin is January, Mao in February, Chen in March, Si in April, Wu in May, and Wei in June. Shun in July, Yo in August, Zu in September, Hai in October, Li in November, and Chao in December. Zi, Chao, Yin, and Mao. They seem to be the words used in astronomy in ancient times. There are 12. I remember they were called the earthly branches. It corresponds to the months. The moment you see the patterns on the painting, thought flashes through your mind. If the moon represents the month and the pile of dirt represents the earthly branches, then they correspond with each other. What does the cloud represent? the table, there are two teacups with red and ox patterns on them. And there are two words, gang and zing, under the patterns. Shirawa, I found three kids here. Three? Yes, and there is a slight difference between them. There seems to be something written on the nameplate on the platform. Once the true dragon is found, everything will be clear and the secret door will appear. True dragon, secret door. It's not hard to understand. I think it means that only one of the three gates is genuine, and this genuine one is the key to some secret door. That makes sense, but we don't know the characteristics of the genuine one yet. Let's look around, maybe we'll find something. The teacups are decorated with a tiger and a rabbit. Inspecting the cups out carefully, you find two words, Ran and Gui, under the pattern. On the table, there are two teacups with patterns of dragon and snake on them. And there are two words, Jia and Yi, under the patterns. The texts are heavenly sent, then the pattern should represent. There is a flower-themed tea set on the table with wintersweet, lotus, chrysanthemum, and cross patterns on each of the cups respectively. I didn't expect there to be a ruse. But it's uncommon to put images of these flowers together. Is there any deeper meaning? There are so many patterns in this room. Even these two teacups are decorated with a sheep and a horse. Move on. Inspecting the cup carefully, you find two words, Ding and Bing, under the pattern. On the table, there are two teacups with rooster and monkey patterns on them. And there are two words, Ji and Wu, under the patterns. You notice the teacups on the table. Inspecting the cup carefully, you find the cups are decorated with a pig and dog. And there are two words, Zing and Geng, under the patterns. Shiraira, I found a box here. There is a mechanical lock on it. The mechanical lock falls off the box. Are there any clues in the box with the wing? There are no clues on how to leave the room, but there is a silk pouch. A silk pouch? Can we exchange it with Zango for information? You recall what Zango said before. Let's bring this silk pouch to Zangor. We might get some useful information from him. Okay, I hold on to it. The scroll painting. You found something new, Mr. Wing? Yes, I found a scroll painting on the desk. There is a crescent moon, a cloud, and a pile of dirt painted on it. In addition, there is 1, 2, and 3 written near the moon, a pile of dirt, and cloud respectively. 1, 2, 3. What do they have to do with the patterns? Artem falls silent. He seems to be pondering about something. Painters in ancient times focus on imagery, so maybe the crescent moon doesn't exactly represent the moon? Makes sense, and the numbers might represent a progressive relationship. Does that mean we can deduce the power of dirt from the crescent moon? It's possible. We will find out the meaning after we figure out what these images represent. Well, let's start looking for clues right now. And on an old piece of paper, it reads War Horse, Wei Sheep, Shen Magi, Yu, Rooster, Zoo Dog, and High Pig. A book hidden near the potted plant. Mr. Wayne? I'm fine. I don't know who left a brochure near the potted plant. Let me see. It should be a book about astronomy in ancient times. The heavenly stamps are Jia, Yi, Bing, Ding, Wu, Ji, Geng, Zhen, Ran, and Gui in that order. It's the calculation method of the heavenly stamps and the earthly branches. According to the book, the 10 heavenly stamps can be translated into numbers from 1 to 10. And someone has marked this part of the text. The heavenly stamps correspond with the earthly branches, and the text has been marked. This must be important content. Recalling the patterns found at the beginning, you start to think. So the heavenly stamps correspond to the cloud pattern. That means we can get the password by deducing from months to earthly branches and then to heavenly stamps. I was thinking the exact same thing. It seems we are very close to the correct answer. A board? On a board hidden in the bookshelf, there are many animals with 2 characters written beside each of them. Z, rat, chow, ox, yin, tiger, mouse, rabbit, chen, dragon, and sea snake. The Chinese zodiac and earthly branches. It might mean that the earthly branches can be expressed with the Chinese zodiac. This coded log is similar to the ones we saw before, but there is no hint on it. Does that mean we already found the clue? It's possible. If that's the case, the password can be deduced from the month, earthly branches, and heavenly stamp. We can deduce the password once we find the clue about the months. Months, right. What about the flowers representing different months and those teacups? Is this amber? What a special color. Hold on, what's this? You find a bamboo stick in the corner near a jade ornament. Text on the stick reads, "Is not alone but in pairs," and the jade is in the shape of a dragon. You find a paper hidden under the potted plant. And on the paper it reads "Quills and Feathers." The true dragon pattern sheet should be if there's really a dragon, all the shades are evolved from the dragon, there will not be other forms. And they always appear in pairs. The scale armor on the dragon fits the characteristic of scales and feathers. I'm sure this is the key to the dragon. Great, we're right! Let's hold on to this sheet and try it when we encounter a secret door. A faint sound comes from inside the door, which moves slowly and reveals a crack. One room after another, it seems to be endless. Hello? Enough with the knocking. I'm about to go to sleep. What do you want? Also about the gossip teacher. I'm sorry to introduce Miss Pan. It's like this. We discovered something related to you, so we wanted to ask you about it. Chantal Pan merely raises her eyebrows and motions for you to sit down. What is it? After seeing the photo in Luke's hand, Chantal Pan's anger turned into nervousness. How did you get this? I knew it. I wasn't mistaken. You and Luke exchanged a glance. There must be a lot of stories behind these photos. Miss Pan, can we talk about it now? What else is there to see? It's exactly what you see in the photo. Elijah and I were in a relationship. At this point, she frowns as if she just said something detestable. When I was young, I had put this in men and fell for Elijah. You both knew about her relationship with Elijah Yin a long time ago. But now you know that there's more to those arguments than meets the eye. We were going to get married, but when he met this girl from a rich family, maybe he thought that would make his life easier, so he moved on. She spoke of these things calmly without any trace of sadness. But you can't help but think of the girl in the photo smiling as she snuggled up to her beloved. Don't look at me like that. It's like I'm the one who got dumped. In the end, it's a good thing I didn't marry that scum. I found the whole relationship to be an embarrassment, much less him. So for years, no one knew about us. It's just once we were at a bidding event together and I overheard him talking to someone on the phone. That's when I knew that someone had video evidence of our time together and they were blackmailing him with it. At this point, Chantal Pan can't help but burst into laughter. What a loser! What did I ever see in him? So you're here because of these photos? Yes, I investigated for a long time afterward and found out that it was the Zhang family who called Elijah that day. I reached out to the Zhang family to see if there was a chance to destroy the photos. I see. Why would the Zhang family need to threaten their partner with photos? With that said, can I have the photos back? I'm sorry, Miss Pan. There are still many mysteries surrounding the Zhang family and Elijah Yang. We cannot return the photos to you at this moment. I don't care. That's me in the photos, so it belongs to me. You really can't give the photos back to me? I'm sorry, these photos might be important clues, so we must hold on to them for now. I can't win, can I? Fine, I will cooperate with your investigation. In a few short words, Shantapan returns to her strong demeanor. At least she agreed, albeit reluctantly. If there's nothing else, please leave. Don't disturb my beauty sleep. She waves her hand at you, indicating that she wants the door closed. Everyone immediately tries to contact the police. However, what follows is an awkward silence after several beeps. As with previous calls, no calls are able to get through. Strange, is my phone broken or is there just no reception? Yikes, there's no reception. My phone has no reception either. Same here. How can this be? Could the snowstorm be affecting the signal? Yeah, the snowstorm is getting stronger and we're in the mountains. It could explain the bad reception. Why don't we ask the butler to see if there's anywhere to connect the internet? Sure, but how can there be an internet port if there isn't even a landline? I suddenly have a bad feeling about this. Villa dining room. Everyone, please remain calm. Back at the dining hall, you hear an old man keeping order. That rowdy guest calmed down and seemed to be listening carefully to the old man. You thought it was Mr. G, but it's another unfamiliar elder. Poor Mr. Yin, having to leave us like that. Mr. Zheng, you must find justice first. The old man frowns and glances at the butler nearby. Butler Winter smiles immediately and soothes Mr. Qian. Mr. Qian, our master will do his due diligence. Besides, some of our guests have already notified the police. I am sure they will be here soon to sort this out. You guys share a look, confirming the answer in each other's eyes. There is only one man in the whole villa who the butler calls his master. Finally, so he is Mavis Young. Distinguished guest, were you able to get your phones working? At that moment, Winters noticed you and walks over quickly. You quickly explained the situation. There was no reception at their entrance either. Can we connect to the internet? We can also call the police through the internet. Winters looked back at Mavis Young with an apologetic smile on his face. There's no internet at the villa either. Oh no, as I thought. No landline or the internet. How do you all normally contact other people? We advocate a simple lifestyle and seldom use mobile phones, let alone the products of modern society. This place is completely secluded from the world. What should we do? Why don't we head down the mountain and notify the police? Absolutely not. It's gotten dark outside due to the growing snowstorm. It's too dangerous to head down the mountain now. I'm an old man, but you young people shouldn't be wandering around in the mountains either. But we can't stay here with a dead person. Yeah, who would dare to stay here? It's impossible to head down the mountain and you have no luck contacting the police. More guests grew anxious. There are a lot of people in the dining hall. It would be inappropriate for Mr. Yin's body to remain there. May I suggest we mark the crime scene and then move the body to a separate room for closer examination? That will have to do. By the way, are you a doctor? Vin heads into the crowd and stops in front of a man in a white lab coat. Yes, my last name is Lee and my first name is Dong. I am the chief physician of Yuchen Town Central Hospital. First name Dong, last name Lee. Why would he emphasize that's his name? Does he not want people to confuse it with his profession? Hello, my name is Vin Richter, a psychiatrist. I may not be as proficient as you in a trauma examination, so could you please examine Mr. Yin before the police arrive? I am happy to assist you if you need help. I'll try. With the limited conditions in the villa, I'll only be able to make basic assessment. We will need a professional medical examiner to conduct a further examination. Half an hour later, Dr. Lee returns with Vin. They are also carrying what looks like a detailed paper document. Excuse me, everyone. Mr. Yin's preliminary report of death have been completed. Tell us, quick, what happened to our boss? According to my preliminary assessment, Mr. Yin's cause of death was a sudden cardiac arrest. What does that mean? Did that woman anger our boss to death? Don't you dare make an unfounded accusation. How is it unfounded? Wasn't he fine before your argument with him? Mr. Kian, could you please let us finish before you make a comment? The steady and sharp voice cuts through Mr. Kian's emotion like a knife. The middle-aged man glares ruthlessly at him before falling silent. Mr. Yin had a history of hypertension and heart disease. He was also overweight, which might cause hyperlipidemia, correct? Mr. Kian nods silently. Yes. Dr. Lee and I have both examined Mr. Yin's body. There were no marks ruling out the possibility of an external attack. Given his prior medical history, Mr. Yin may have suffered from sudden cardiac arrest.
Yes, I believe Mr. Yin's death was an accident, and Miss Fan had nothing to do with it. Vin frowns before adding on. However, the medical equipment in the villa is limited, so this analysis is only preliminary. We will need to wait for a medical examiner to perform an autopsy. See, even the doctors have confirmed it. Elijah had a stroke of bad luck and it has nothing to do with me. Chantal Pan straightens her back, shaking off her anxiety. You awful woman. The two of them stare off, about to have a go at each other's throat again when Mavis Zhang quickly intervenes. Distinguished guests, we are very sorry about what happened to Mr. Yin. Please rest assured that the villa will cooperate with the relevant personnel to deal with this matter. It's just that the snowstorm has blocked the routes, so there's not much we can do right now. Everyone, please rest up at the villa. We will figure out the reception issue as soon as possible and contact the police. Mavis Zheng is able to calm the guests down. Soon the guests scatter. Dr. Richter, are you tired? Do not worry, I am fine. There are things I have yet to figure out. Was there something wrong with the examination? Elijah Yin's death looks like an ordinary accident, but it feels too coincidental. What do you mean? While there is a chance that sudden cardiac arrest occurs, we cannot rule out the possibility that it was induced. It is difficult to determine the cause of death in these limited circumstances. Dr. Lee's claim that his death was an accident was a bit hasty. After all, we are unclear about Elijah Yin's physical condition and what happened before his death. As you said, we still can't tell if his death was accidental. So I would like to ask Mr. Kian more about Elijah Yin's life. At the very least, the information may prove useful when the medical examiner gets here. Okay, let's go right now. Contracts, approval, documents. There are so many documents in his bag. He seemed to be sorting through Elijah Yin's belongings. Wait, how many pills are missing from the pill box? Did Mr. Yin accidentally take more medication? Hello, my name is Artem, and this is my partner Shiraira. We are attorneys from the Themis law firm in Stalis. Sorry, could we see the pill box in your hand? You are both attorneys? Well, here. Oh, this is a smart pill box. This kind of smart pill box can help organize the medicine as well as remind the owner to take medicine on time. Yes, this lock has a reminder to take the medicine before bedtime. Yes, our boss always takes his medicine on time, as ordered by his doctor. This slot should be for tonight, before bedtime. Why is it already empty? Maybe the boss dropped it by mistake? Hello, can I take this pill box with me for closer inspection? There's something I need to confirm. Are you investigating our boss's death? Yes, there are many questions surrounding Mr. Yin's death that we're trying to clear up. I heard attorneys from the Themis law firm are really good. Well, here, take it. Be careful not to damage it.
and remember to return it later. Don't worry, we will. It's a shame. What a waste that so much grapefruit juice has to be thrown out. Can I sneak a sip? The butler won't know, right? You have to throw it all out, but it looks to be freshly made. I don't know. The butler just told me to throw it all out. Mr. Yin just drank it. The guests probably don't want to touch anything that he has had. He drank grapefruit juice? Yes, just shortly before the accident. And he drank half the jug by himself. When I saw him, he was red in the face. He asked me for cold drinks since he was too hot in the bath. The kitchen had just brought out the cold grapefruit juice at the time, so I brought it to him. I remember Elijah Yin had a history of hypertension. That means he needed to take blood pressure medication every day. Maybe, what's wrong with that? Well, grapefruit juice has been known to prolong the effects of blood pressure medication, thus increasing its effect. If Elijah Yin drank that much grapefruit juice while taking his blood pressure medication, it's likely that it slowed down his metabolism and caused symptoms of low blood pressure. Is that serious? Yes. In serious cases, it might even cause angina, myocardial infarction, and even death. Could this be the reason for Elijah Yin's cardiac arrest? Oh no, I'm scared this time. The snow beast must be furious. We're all dead meat. Calm down, snow beast. What are you going on about? Didn't you see that man who died suddenly? I mean, it looked like the snow beast had taken his soul away. How scary. Who knows if we'll next? I don't want my soul to be taken. Snow beast? What's that? It's a local legend in Yuchen town. It is said that a monster called the snow beast will attack passers-by in the mountains every winter. Those who are attacked look like they've fallen asleep, but their souls have been devoured by the snow beast. Yes, it's just like what that guy said. That man's soul must have been devoured by the snow beast. That's ridiculous. What snow beast? Stop that nonsense. It's not nonsense. I'm serious. There used to be snow beast incidents in Yuchen town 7 times a year. I saw it. Shh, don't talk nonsense. If you keep that up, Mr. G will blame you. What I am going to tell my colleagues when I get back. Poor Mr. Yin, you were fine in the bath just now. How could you be gone all of a sudden? Did Elijah Yin really take a bath? Can you please elaborate? How long and when did he take it? I remember Mr. Kian saying that Elijah Yin really loves taking baths. It was probably after the argument with that woman. Our boss was furious, so he said he needed to take a bath to calm his nerves. I'm not sure how long he was in the bath, but at least an hour. Our boss likes to take baths to stay healthy. He said it dilates blood vessel and relieves high blood pressure. Vin's expression is terribly twisted. Could something be up? Alright, I understand now. Dr. Richter, what's up? Hot bath will dilate the blood vessels, which drastically reduce blood pressure. Elijah Yin had a history of hypertension. This means his vascular elasticity and his self-regulation of blood pressure were poor. Under these circumstances, a prolonged soak in hot water might lead to a sudden shock and even death. You suspect that may have been the cause of his accidental death? No, I am saying it is a possibility, but the details. Vin falls silent and frowns, deep in thought. Villa dining room. With a history of high blood pressure, Elijah Yin took a hot bath and then drank a lot of grapefruit juice. With so many precipitating factors, it's hard to imagine that an accident would happen. After summarizing all the information, Maris is the first to comment. Do you not think that these are too many coincidences? Vin follows right after Marius, raising his own doubts. You mean, if it was just one cause, then it might have just been a coincidence. So many factors coming together seems to be a deliberate act. It is as if someone was afraid Elijah Yun would survive, so they took extra precautions. Vin turns to look. I remember you have one of those quick chemical testing devices, right? Yes, I brought it this time. Please check the fruit juice on the table to see if there is anything special in it. Vin points to the grapefruit juice that Elijah Yin drank before. The staff Rachel was ordered to pour it all out, but she is currently helping a guest tidy something. The juice is still in the jug on the table. Sure. Luke takes out an instrument about the size of his palm. Above the electronic screen is a dropper-like device. You are quite familiar with the device. He used the same device to test the residual drug powder in Penny's comfort food. How nostalgic. I haven't seen Luke use it in a while. But how does Vin know that Luke has a device like this on him? As you ponder, the result from Luke's device comes out. The grapefruit juice contains blood pressure medication. Artem takes out the smart pill box and hands it to Luke. This pill box was found in Elijah Yin's belongings. It's missing 2 doses of blood pressure medication. These 2 pills were to be taken tonight before bedtime. Please compare the blood pressure medication in the pill box with the traces found in the juice. Alright. Luke performs the test again, then nods in confirmation. It's a match. That means someone might have put the 2 pills inside the grapefruit juice. With a history of high blood pressure, Elijah Yin drank a lot of grapefruit juice after taking a hot bath for an hour. If you see these are all accidental coincidences, then he takes out a quick look at the smart pill box, which is missing 2 pills. The traces of blood pressure medication in the grapefruit juice is not an accident. A glass of grapefruit juice might not trigger symptoms of low blood pressure, but the blood pressure medication will. Drinking grapefruit juice after a hot bath can already cause a sudden drop in blood pressure. Now with the addition of the medication, the combination of these factors led to Elijah Yin's sudden cardiac arrest.
So this wasn't an accident, it was murder. Then the next question is, who did it? How was the killer able to carry out his plan quietly in the villa? Could it be Chantal Pan? But wasn't her falling out with Elijah Yin too obvious? Yeah. I suggest we find Mr. Kian again to confirm Elijah Yin's situation. Maybe we might find some more information that we overlooked before. Yes, let's go find him now. Villa dining room. There's something wrong with that Chantal Pan. So, what have you got? Tell me, do you have any evidence that this woman murdered our boss? Because of its importance, you haven't told Mr. Kian about what your group has learned. He only knows a vague explanation of the suspicious circumstances of Laja Yin's death. Unexpectedly, Mr. Kian immediately gets worked up upon hearing that Elijah Yin's death was suspicious. Mr. Kian, please calm down and listen to us first. The snow is too heavy outside and there's no way of telling when it will stop. If we can't contact the outside world, we will need to remain at the villa for days. As an attorney, I would like to know more about Mr. Yin's life. To make it easier to cooperate with the police when they come. Also, if your firm needs legal assistance, Themis law firm will be happy to assist you. Mr. Kian's eyes light up as soon as Artem hands out his business card. A shrewd businessman never turns down an opportunity. So you want to help the police collect evidence? I understand. Attorneys are more rigorous. Okay then, ask me anything you want. Reasons of the fight. Could you tell me the exact reason why Mr. Yin and Miss Pan had an argument? The reason? Well, because of that woman stole our business. Our company specializes in transportation. People like the Zheng family who are located in remote areas and have to do business often use our company's transportation services. Anyway, a few years ago when Mr. Nolan Zheng was still alive, the Zheng family had always had dealings with us. Mr. Zheng once gave our boss a gift. Let me look at for it. Mr. Kian pulls out an antique jade pendant from his collection. Look, my boss said that whoever has the jade pendant will be able to work with the Zheng family for a long time. But last year, that woman, well, she also opened a transportation company and took a big chunk of our business from us. She didn't obey the business rules. She was just doing whatever she wanted. Mr. Kian's getting worked up again. This jade pendant, can you give it to us for evidence and allow us to keep it for a while? I'm sure you won't try to steal from me, considering you are a lawyer. Yeah, you can keep it. Personal grudges. Is there some personal grudges between Mr. Yin and Miss Pan? Well, I heard from my boss that there was an apparent conflict between them when they were young. But my boss didn't tell me the whole story. In short, the woman hated our boss. She always tried to create problems for him. It seems that the relationship between those two was quite complicated. What does the Zheng family's antique business have to do with that transportation company? The Zhang family has a wide-reaching business network. They needed our help with the transportation. It gets tons of orders every month. Here. Mr. Kian looks down, takes out a stack of documents from his briefcase and hands them to you. This is your shipping order for this year. It's a paper document. Yes, the Zhang family is very old-fashioned. They never accept electronic documents. All transaction documents are printed out on paper. When there are bad signals, paper documents are more convenient for looking things up. Yes, sometimes paper documents are the most reliable. Do you have any other questions? If not, I have other things to do. With our boss gone, I have much work to do. Not at the moment. Thank you, Mr. Kian. Can we go through the information first and come back to you if we have any questions later? Yes, I'll let you get to it then. Just don't mess up with my company's documents. Okay, we'll be careful. After Mr. Kian leaves, you all get together to sort out the clues you've gathered so far. You all gather at a remote garden, afraid that your discussion might get overheard. The deserted corner of the villa feels much safer despite how chilly it is outside due to the snow. Villa garden. Let's start with the clues we've gathered so far. A short while ago, we found out that Elijah Yin, the boss of a logistics company that attended the auction, had died of a sudden cardiac arrest. Our investigation revealed that his death was not accident but the result of deliberate planning. Yes, the killer might have been familiar with Elijah Yin's habit and knew that he loved to take hot baths. After taking a bath, Elijah Yin drank the grapefruit juice, dosed with blood pressure medication which induced hypotension and caused death. And the killer could still be at the villa. Blizzard Villa is deep in the mountains and isolated from the rest of the world. The blizzard has blocked the path down the mountain with snow, making it almost impossible to enter the villa. You are inclined to believe that the killer had mingled with the other guests and seized the opportunity to kill Elijah Yin. As far as we know, the person who had a grudge against Elijah Yin is Chantal Pan. Moreover, Chantal Pan was the first witness to Elijah Yin's death. Technically, that makes her our prime suspect, but it's too obvious. She's an obvious target, telling others that she is most likely the killer if Elijah Yin died. Yeah, I guess Chantal Pan isn't stupid enough to make herself so obvious, is she? Yes, that makes her less of a suspect. One more thing, look at this transaction record provided by Mr. Kian. Marius takes out the transaction document that he got from Mr. Kian and points them out to all of you. Their orders have been gradually decreasing year by year. This year, their orders have fallen by more than half. Under these circumstances, Elijah Yin's company was already operating in the red. No wonder he was worried. Mr. Kian mentioned that it was Chantal Pan who stole many of their customers after she opened her own company. Then Chantal Pan stands to benefit. Even if Chantal Pan stands to benefit from it, she has no reason to kill Elijah Yin. She didn't stand to gain anything by killing Elijah Yin, right? I agree. So it's possible that the killer is using Chantal Pan as a distraction. But who else would have the motive to murder Elijah Yin besides Chantal Pan? Could it be Mr. Kian? Or is there another unknown factor that you don't know about? Everyone, I've spotted another problem in the transaction records. What is it? Generally speaking, antiques are different from other goods. You wouldn't buy a dozen antiques several times a day. Yes, antiques depend largely on personal preference. No one purchases antiques like how they shop for vegetables at the market. But look at this record. Someone bought 20 antiques on this day. And the name of the antique is glass flower pot. Isn't that strange? Look here, someone bought 30 white glazed vases in one day. You all carefully look over the transaction records once more, only to discover more irregularities. Why is the Zheng family engaged in so many transactions? What is the purpose of this auction? At this moment, I have my suspicions. You suspect Mavis Zheng? Yes, as the master of this villa, he knows more about the situation than anyone else. And he is Elijah Yin's acquaintance too, isn't he? If so, then things have just got complicated. Right now, no one is able to escape the villa or contact the outside world, which means Mavis Zheng is in control of everything you do. If that's the case, then things will quickly get out of hand. Let me try contacting the outside world again. With that, Marius takes out his tablet and taps gently on the screen. I'm checking to see if we can connect to pack satellite signal. Satellite signal? If I can connect, then we will be able to contact the outside world and we don't have to wait for the reception to come back. Marius taps the screen 2 more times. And then a few more times. His expression grows harder with each tap. His eyebrows pinch together into a frown. Are you unable to connect to it? I can't even locate the source of the signal, let alone connect to it. Everyone, I don't think the pack satellite is broken, so that means there is a special magnetic field blocking all the signals. So the blizzard isn't the reason why we can't get reception. Someone is deliberately blocking all the signals with some technology and keeping us here at the villa. Who would go through such means? You follow Vinky's. In the white snow, the enormous villa is like a large cage firmly enclosed onto something. It's a mystery that none of you are aware of. A smart pill organizer carried by Elijah Yin. The organizer has a timer to remind the patient of when to take the medicine. The Zheng Jet pendant. An old-fashioned jet pendant found in Elijah Yin's belongings. It seems to be the keepsake of the Zheng family. The logistic company records transaction documents between Elijah Yin's logistic company and the Zheng family. As a tradition of the Zheng family, the transactions have been kept in paper documents all these years.
Villa Hall. My bracelet is missing. Hey, you, can you come help me quick? Me? What's wrong, Miss Pan? Aren't you attorneys naturally warm-hearted? My bracelet has gone missing, so help me find it. Is that how you ask someone for help? Chantal Pan ignores your reaction and goes on talking. That bracelet is very important to me, so I can't lose it. Miss Pan, if you want my help, the least you can do is tell me where the bracelet might be. It might be where Elijah died. Don't look at me like that. I didn't touch him. It's just... Her tone comes off strong, but her hands are trembling slightly. Anyone would be afraid of such an accident. Miss Pan, I'll help you look for it. She looks a little relieved that you offered to help. Thank you very much. Oh, the jet bracelet is different from ordinary bracelets with an apricot flower engraving. Don't get it mixed up. Miss Pan, rest assured, I will look for it. Good, thank you. I'm not an unreasonable person. I'll pay you for a fee for retrieving it. It's okay, I don't need a fee. Let me see if her bracelet is under the table. There's nothing here. Did Miss Pan remember wrongly? I'll look again. Still nothing. Let's try the other places that Miss Pan went. Let me look under this long table. The tablecloth is in the way. I need to move the tablecloth out of the way first. There are flower engravings on it. This must be Miss Pan's bracelet. I should show it to her. Villa Hall. Miss Pan, this is the bracelet you lost, right? Let me see. Yes, this is the bracelet I lost. Oh my baby, you're finally back. As soon as she gets the bracelet, her eyes light up so much that even her attitude towards you changes. Thank you, Miss Sharira. It's a good thing you found it for me, or I would have been so worried. I hope you don't mind that I didn't treat you very well at the beginning. Don't worry, I'm glad you got it back. What do you want? Name your price. I always keep my word. No need, Miss Pan. Please, this is my job. Villa Hall. It's almost my anniversary. What should I do? How can I surprise Ray? If I mess up like last time, it will be bad. Benjuan, what are you doing here? I'm worried about my anniversary with Ray. Shouldn't your anniversary be a happy occasion? Yes, but I need to give Ray a surprise to make her happy. So I was wondering what kind of surprise I could prepare for her. But now I can't believe what should I do? If I screw this up, Ray's going to be mad at me. I don't want to make her angry. He really cares about what she thinks. Maybe I can help you. Really? If you can help me come up with a surprise, you'll be a relationship savior. You don't have to be so dramatic about it. I'll try my best. I'm counting on you. Okay, leave it to me. We can't leave the villa and nobody can come in. What kind of surprise can be prepared? It's impossible to buy anything online. What can be handmade? Peach blossom, snow. I've got it. What about a snowman or an ice sculpture? It will be hard to make an ice sculpture, but a snowman should be easy. I should ask Benny for his opinion. Villa Hall. Hey, I've got an idea. You're back? You already have an idea? Yeah, I was thinking, what if you made a snowman or an ice sculpture that looked like her? A handmade surprise would be more meaningful. Snowman, ice sculpture, let me think. I've never made anything like this for her. In terms of effect, an ice sculpture would be better. It will shine in the sunlight. Then I will blindfold Ray and bring her here. It's beautiful just imagining it. Ray will love it. Well, you have to work hard. It isn't easy making an ice sculpture. Yes, I will work hard. I'm going to ask the other guests in the villa if they have any experience. It's good to see him full of energy. Thank you for helping me come up with such a great idea to save our anniversary. No need to thank me. The final result is up to you. Villa Hall. Snow Beast spirit is the Snow Beast spirit. I must worship the Snow Beast before it's too late. I don't want to die here. I want to live to 100 years old. Miss Chow, you said worship the Snow Beast just now. All the mention of the Snow Beast, Cassie Chow throws you a malicious look. You city girls don't think the Snow Beast is some sort of adorable animal, right? This isn't a children's playhouse. Miss Chow seems to believe in the Snow Beast legends. Let's play along. I just want to help. We might be able to leave the mountain if the Snow Beast is appeased. Cassie Chow's attitude softens when you mention leaving the mountain. Help? Perfect timing. I have something you can do. We better hurry. I just remembered what the first step was. She just remembered. When the Snow Beast first met Lady Qingnu, she fed it some snow water, which the Snow Beast liked very much. So our first step is to get some clean snow water as an offering to the Snow Beast. Clean snow water. Yes, get to it. It must be clean. Okay, I'm on it.
Where can I find clean snow water? There's a pool in the courtyard. I'll try to get some water from there. I finally got some water. Let's see if it's clean. What are these dark spots? Is the water dirty? The water here won't do. Let me check outside the villa. It's so cold outside. I need to hurry back after finding clean snow water. How can I collect it? I know, I can use the fresh snow on the bushes and melt it into water. Yeah, that will do. Done! Villa Hall. Miss Chow, I got some clean snow water from the snow beast. What do you think? Let me see. Good, the snow beast will be happy. But this is only the first step, with many more to go. The snow beast won't forgive us until the ritual is complete. How many more steps are there? City girls just don't understand. If worshipping the snow beast was that easy, nothing would have happened. Bah, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Let me prepare the snow water first. Come look for me later. I guess I'll have to help her complete the worship ritual. Okay, I'll come back later. Sure, go ahead. I still need to think about what to do next.